What's up, fam? This is the Positive Perspectives Podcast, and I am your host, Coach Jason Leon. This is our last and final installment of our discussion with Caleb Green. Let's dive in. Your children can speak into your life, even if they're offering you advice, which is weird, right? As a parent, when they're offering, and it's good advice, it's something that you might not have considered. Again, if you're a prospective giver, then and you're giving it to your children, you expect it has to return back to you, because that's how you know.
So you're right.
That's how you know the quality was there. I planted good seed and it came back.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it to you like this. A lot of people like to associate themselves with champions. And I alluded to this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They want a championship banner. They want a championship ring. They want a championship moniker, for their city, for their state, whatever team they support.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a champion. Everybody, when we go to the Olympics, want to see America win. Sometimes you have people like, I like these people because they do this better, surfing or whatever it is. But anything that's American, it's what we do.
Yeah.
If you knew what it costs to be a champion, would you really want to be one?
And that is the $1 million question.
Do you really
and
want
the answer?
Yeah.
And the answer to that question is, well, one of the answers would be it depends, right? And I say that because I was telling it's funny. Right. We're talking about our kids, Fatherhood, right? Tell our kids, I said it's not that people can't do championship level stuff or can't do excellence, they just won't do it. Not that they can't. There's a lot of people that can be champions, excellent, 10x, all that good stuff. They can do it, but they won't do it. Will not.
Yeah.
They know what it takes, and they said, I will not do that.
You know what, brother? It's a good. That's such a great point. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
So, came in the military.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna try to synopsis. I'm gonna try to go all the way back. Summertime sacrifice. When I got to middle school,
yes, sir.
I want to go to the pool. I want to go play basketball. I want to go ride my bike. I want to go to the beach. I want to. My mama had me in Upward Bound. My mother and father. Upward Bound. HBCU Hampton. Go HU. Reading, writing, arithmetic, music. Reading, writing, arithmetic, music. Reading, writing, arithmetic, music, history. So basically, I can read. I can write. I'm good with numbers. I have a foundation. I'm articulate. I can talk like the homeboy. I can get down. But that's right. In essence, I really don't speak like that. I can relate to it, and I can partake if I want to. But usually, when I speak to people, it's up here. I almost didn't get married. My wife was like, "You talk to me like you're 40 years old," because I always spoke up here. It wasn't your eyes or like it wasn't all of that. I'm like, listen, we can have a home. We can, like I had a vision. I had a vision.
Wow. That's a lot right there. Just right there that you had a vision.
Yeah. But then I found a person who could help me fulfill that vision. And I knew, like I didn't want to lose her. I knew. So then, you fast forward, that's a marriage, and I'm a communication specialist, and I built my teams. I always got the soldiers who were low density MOS, meaning that they had to do their job and couldn't really be part of the masses, and they never made any exception for us who didn't have the numbers to do that additional work.
Right.
So I always developed a plan. I always worked. I made the high standards, the company level inspections, and then the battalion inspections, the brigade, then the division. I always made those standards our daily standards.
See, yeah, that's what it takes.
See, they became our daily standards. So we were champions before we even got to playing field, because the guy came in and, the evaluators, and they sit there and they look, they were like, we're going to inspect you today. I said, no, you're not going to inspect me. He looked at me like, who you talking to? I said, you can inspect my soldiers. I got things to do. You can pick. I got E2s and E3s. Who you want? they were like, oh. And it reminds me of when God said, have you considered my servant Job?
Mm.
So I had trained them. I trained them.
All right.
So I knew they knew their stuff. I knew they knew their stuff. And I went on about my business. And I came back and, you get commendables. You get these high ratings, these high markings because you know that you've done what you're supposed to do. Now, let me tell you about my soldiers. My soldiers walk differently because I said, oh, well, which one of my guys or girls, which one of my male or
Mm.
female soldiers do you want to engage with? Because they're going to tell you the same thing I'm going to tell you. I have something else I need to do.
Yeah.
They run the shop. I'm just in charge. So, and of course, they're going to pick on the little guy. And the little guy would tear him a new one. Then they go to the next guy. And the next guy would tear him a new one. Because the next guy was once the little guy. So you see how I fed it. I fed it
Mm.
all the way down,
Yep.
and it was just a circle of life. So when I was removed from the equation, they never missed a beat because I let them run it every day.
Because then,
So,
yep. Yep.
because that was the standard. So
Habits of success. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
it's replicable.
Yep. And that's the key thing. Replication. Yep.
Yeah,
That's how you know.
and that's what you want.
Yep.
So
Yep.
when I look at my kids now, and look at my children now, and look at the love that they have for me, the love that they have for their mom, the things that they do. Do you know that my number 7, you know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know that she writes? She's written. So we're doing church talent night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's written a song, not written a song. She transcribed a song that she wanted to sing. So it's going to be the three of us, me, her, and mom,
Okay.
and it's really good.
That's
And
what's
so
up.
I would be doing something. She's like, I'm sorry, could you not do this, but do this? And I looking at myself and her, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Bama, she's doing that thing. And I love it. I love because her confidence is there because I
Yeah.
would never shake her confidence. If I have to take over, or if
Yeah.
I do take over, there was once a scenario where she kind of like publicly challenged me. And it wasn't that she challenged me, she challenged my interpretation of something. I said, well, we'll do it your way. And everybody was like this. And I looked, I said, I still prefer what I said, but it makes sense, that you guys are, it would take more work to get you to what I'm trying to get you to do. And then later on, it showed up. She goes, I see what you mean now.
Right.
But the thing is, I gave
But
her
you,
the ability.
yeah, you empowered her,
Yeah,
and that's what's needed.
yeah, she's a phenomenal teacher, but you would think
Mm.
like she got it from me. She got it from her mom because she's taught with her mom side by side.
Mm.
And those things make a difference in how she relates to people, in how she talks to people. And the thing about it is they don't know her. They don't know her other side, that
Right.
frustrating side. And I love it because she can talk to me. Tell me how she really feels. I'm like, tell me how you really feel. No, don't code it. Don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
I said, so how here's what I would do. What do you think? I said, do you remember when dad was like, I was trying to preempt some things that went this way?
Mm.
And I said, well, here's like, yeah, but you did this. I said, but see, we're where we are today because your input is that I don't know what I'm doing. I
Mm.
get to the point and I make it so you don't have to experience that. Now that you've experienced that, now you're more like me because of your experience. Whereas when I was doing that before, you can tell me these things that you feel, but your feelings do not dictate the scenario. Feelings will get you killed. I felt like you disrespected me. So that's why people do things like that. I said,
Right.
they're real
Yep.
and they're very powerful. They are the most probably, that's why I said, your heart is deceitful,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not because you set out to be that way. It just is, it is. I want things that I'm not supposed to have. I don't know anybody who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in a diet, it's like, hey, eat this and or don't eat this. I'm like, I can have this and whatever. And then you'll forget and you go do it again. But you got to hurt bad enough to stop doing it.
Right. Yeah, you'll grow. What I heard someone say, you'll grow to the level of your pain threshold. When you're tired of hurting,
Yeah, when you're
you'll
tired of
make
hurt, you'll
you
change your
you'll
ways.
change. You'll change.
And so it's the same thing with fatherhood. I can put them in scenarios that help their learning curve.
Right.
But if they are not willing to learn, or they want more than what I'm telling them,
Hmm.
it's like you still get a lot of grace, but when those consequences come, I'm going to be like, well, what's your plan? Don't ask me to bail you out, because I'm not going to bail you out.
Mm.
If I bail you out, you wouldn't have learned anything. You got to understand what it really costs. And we both have had that experience with our youngins.
Right.
You got to understand what it really costs. You're telling me this right here, and I need to see. It's a little different. You know what I'm saying? You can talk a good game. Everybody goes into, last night, Dallas had a game plan, and I told my son, I said, Coach should be fired. And he was like, I'm pretty sure that they just extended him. I'm like, last year, I said, I don't know, whenever they extended him, I said, he needs to be fired. I like Jason Kidd. I don't want to take this man's job.
Hmm.
He didn't have a plan. He did not have a plan for Boston's onslaught. Boston had an answer for everything. It's a game of basketball. Somebody's gonna score.
Right.
Somebody's gonna get scored on. That
Right.
that's the nature of the game. His The one game that they did win, and they came out, and you have the whole team put out extra effort. You can do it once, but it's not your habit. So it's
Hmm.
not replicated because you've never consistently done that thing that
Hmm.
allows you to understand that this is what it takes to be a champion. And then the MVP was like, I was just doing my job. Like when they called the MVP, he was like, I'm the
He's like,
MVP. He did a Fred G. Sanford. Oh, Elizabeth. He did, because he wasn't expecting to be acknowledged. But the thing is, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, God will acknowledge you in due time. You just have to be, I mean, man, look at us. At the ripe old age of 54, I made it to national TV and made it to the finals of America's Got Talent. And I told my kids, I'm like, quit crying. I said, I had to wait a long time. I said, if you follow my path, or at least the things that I'm telling you, you can have your success a lot sooner.
right. And that's what you want. Yeah, exactly. You want it sooner, you know. We had to do a lot of bumps and bruises and trial and much error to get
Well,
to where
and,
we
and
where
I
we got
think
to.
we made greater sacrifices. It is a different storyline for them,
Yeah.
but the success can be greater. The success will be greater if you remember what your foundation is. And that foundation is real simple. But everybody's looking for all the other answers, all of the frou-frou stuff. Get up in the morning and you go to the gym. Ain't got to tell nobody nothing. But one day you'll be standing there looking in your shirt, and people are like, dude, what is that? What's that? What's that?
That's my Terry Crews.
What's that? I don't know. What's that?
I
What's that?
can't hear you over the sound of my rippling.
Yeah, what's that right there? Yeah, I ain't gonna show you my legs, but it's like, what's that? I don't have to tell nobody. It shows.
It shows. That's
It
right.
shows. But
The
see,
work
you're
shows.
probably one of the greatest examples of uh, of success that I know in current times. And I'll tell you why. Because when we started this journey, you were going to school, and I told people, I said, Jason made a lot of sacrifices to do that. Ron did too, and Crystal did too. But I was your roommate, and I saw firsthand the things that you had to do in order to sustain, to get your education, to be a dad. And when I'm like, let that man sleep, and you were always available, dude. They don't know. So that's why,
Mhm.
if one of the youngest they need to be touched, you just let me know. I got
I
you.
know you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
Well, man, I want to say I appreciate your wisdom. I want to appreciate you spending some time to talk to me. I say me. I know it's to the people, but I'm gonna say me because you I've always said that you're one of the most inspiring people that I know. And I
Thank you.
consider you a not just a friend, but also a mentor and someone that I can always look up to say, hey, am I doing this right? This fatherhood thing right. And I just appreciate your presence in my life, man. And the interesting thing that you said was that one of the things that key things you said about being a dad is presence. And I think in terms of how you've been present for me and so many others and launched folks in their careers, you've assisted folks, you've brokered so many people and not asking for anything in return. Just, hey, here's how to set you up for the path of success. Here's the road that I've traveled on, and here's how you can do the same things. I've already blazed it for you. I just need you to walk in that road. That's it.
Right.
So I appreciate that because you've done that for me, and I think that the world needs to hear more of your voice.
What's the difference between a difference and the difference?
Yeah, one is an option, one is the option.
One is the option.
Right.
A lot of people don't get it. So, what do you have to be? Do you have to be a difference maker or the difference maker?
Hmm. Wow.
And I think you and I and the people that are in our circle are the difference.
That's good. That's really, really good. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there.
It's a T-shirt. Are you the difference?
Are you the difference? Wow. I need to write that down. I'm gonna write that down. I'm physically gonna write that down. Are you the difference? Ooh.
Yeah, because your preparation, your prep.
Oof.
You know what? I'll give you a thing like we do in music. And my wife said this to me, and I was a little taken back at first, and then I realized what an incredible compliment. So I'm not singing this weekend coming up,
Mhm.
and there is going to be somebody, it's going to be another group, and I said, well, I was supposed to be performing tonight, but I'm not. That engagement got canceled,
Mhm.
so which is great. I said, well, I can come and I can rehearse and da 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 da. She's like, no. I
She's
was
like,
like,
mm-mm.
well, I can't come to my own. No, I got mad. I can't come to my own church. I can't sing around group. She says, if you sing, then we're gonna think we're in better shape than we actually are.
Oh, man, that is such a wonderful statement. She wants the accountability of you because if you're there, it won't be there. She needs,
I'm
yeah,
my queen.
yeah. So
That's
you are
good.
the difference. Yeah, you're the difference
But
in
I
in
love
that
the fact
scenario. In
that
that scenario.
but I love the fact that she recognized that.
Hmm.
And she was really saying, like, no. She's like, no. Because worship is serious, leading
Yeah,
worship. And I appreciate that. So now
yeah,
I don't even know if I'm going now. I may go and some of the tech stuff, but I don't even want like it's she's probably right. Sometimes you need to be removed from the equation
yeah.
so that you can get a real assessment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what we do for our kids. We train them, we train them, we train them, we train them. We're not there. We're not accessible.
Hmm.
Well, they got a lot of learning to fall back on.
Right. Right. Yeah. If they've been paying attention, they have a lot to pull from.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
But that's the way we roll. So
Yeah. But yeah, well, as I said, thank you, my brother, for your time, for your wisdom. Thank you for joining us at the Positive Perspectives podcast. Hopefully, we've said some things that will inspire you to do some greater things with the time that you have. Having said all that, have a great one. Peace out.
thank you, coach.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Positive Perspectives podcast.
Going in the meantime.